Please read this warning before watching my video review. And welcome to my video review of the Japanese PlayStation 3 game Imabikisou, and enjoy this translated introduction.
もうすぐだから良平良平大丈夫落ち着いてもうすぐで着くからだから安心してビジョン？
そう効き目が違うらしいよ。
またそんなもんやって
大丈夫なんだって、みんなやってるし。
まさか手に入れたの？
そう一緒にやろうよ。
せ
っかく変えたんだから。
良平が勝手にしたことでしょ。
じゃあさ、みんなでやんない？
みんなって？
仲間内でキャンプにでも行ってさ、そこでやろうよ。
いいじゃん。私も気になってた。なるよね。大したことない。俺今日何ビジョン？はあ？
ちょっと楽しくてね。それもなかなか手に入んないよな。最近流行ってからな。副作用もないんでしょ？
So that was the introduction to Chunsoft's horror-themed sound novel, Imabikisou. This kind of game is also called a visual novel, and I don't know if you've ever played a visual novel before, but it is very much like a novel. There's a lot of text that you read, and to accompany that you have images and video and sound. So if you're the kind of gamer who just skips through the text as fast as you can to get to the part of the game that you want to play, this may not be the game for you because the game really is that text. You spend a lot of time reading a story, and this is a very much a Japanese horror story. It draws from a lot of different elements of Japanese horror, and if you've seen things like The Ring, some of that may be familiar, but even from Japanese horror stories and things like that, there's a lot of different elements put together into this game, which I think makes it pretty interesting. So, this is Monday. You go through days of the week as you play this game, and here is our main character. You play a male college student going to this school. Engaged in a typical day, you're sitting through a boring lecture, and you, as you may be apt to do, fall asleep. So here you are being awoken, and here we can see some of the visual style of this game. You frequently will have a lot of very harsh backlighting to kind of create these very dark interior environments and dark objects. The photography is really nice, and they do a very effective job of creating this sort of dreary horror visual look to everything, which I think was very well done. This character here, her name is Manami, and we'll be introduced to some more characters here in just a moment, but here's one of the first creepy elements that pops up. We see there's this sketch on the desk, and it may look somewhat familiar from the introductory movie. So already strange things are starting to happen. Here we introduce a couple of characters. We have Kaori, and behind her is Masato. These are some friends of yours at school. You all belong to the same club, and something has come up on the television screen that has caught everyone's attention.
あれ、駅前じゃない？
So what is coming up is an example of the choice segments that you have in this game. So I'd like to illustrate how those work and what you might expect from that portion of the gameplay. So apparently on the television screen we see behind the reporter there's the charred remains of a building. Some building near the train station has apparently caught on fire. And it seems that some students have died in this fire, and portraits of them are displayed on the screen. Now all of a sudden Masato leaps out of his chair. So we have to make a choice here. Do we pay attention to Masato? Do we pay attention to the broadcast? Or do we kind of ignore Masato and pretend that that never happened? Here's another element of this game. You have this, really from the way this is filmed, a creepy flower. What is this flower? It's called Imabikisou. So another aspect of this game is drug use comes up. It's almost like this societal fear that this game is incorporating and playing off of. The game has a lot of different elements. You have a little bit of love, you have a little bit of sadness, there's going on dates with girls, browsing weird websites, and then things just start to get really bad. So I really think that the visual novel format is very effective for horror games. I've played a couple of visual novels that are horror themed, and something about the way that you are really play from a first person perspective and what you're reading, I think really engages you in what's happening and engages your imagination, and then the text and the images just kind of enhance that. I think it creates a very nice mood for horror. What people are going to find challenging about this game is really the level of Japanese that is going to be required to enjoy it. I would recommend for this game is going to be good for Japanese students. If you are taking Japanese and you're learning kanji and things like that, especially it's going to help if you're a horror fan. This is a really great game for you to check out. It's going to be really good for skill building, your reading, your listening comprehension, and all of those things. If your Japanese skills aren't that good, you're probably going to want to avoid this game. If you're a huge Japanese horror fan, there may be something here for you. If you've played a visual novel game before and gotten through it with some kind of enjoyment, feel free to go ahead and give this game a try. But the real point of this game is the story, and you're going to want to be able to follow that as much as you can. I could follow probably 30% of what was being said, maybe a little bit more or less, at certain times, and I was able to enjoy my playthrough of this game. It did not take especially long. I was able to complete a single playthrough of the game over the span of 2 days, basically in a weekend. But this game is really neat because you can play it multiple times, and when you go through the next time, you'll encounter things that you didn't really encounter the first time. More of the story is able to unfold for you. You'll get different endings, and it also seems like there's even some downloadable content and downloadable endings. So this is a really interesting game, and I really enjoyed playing through it. I really like this style of game, and I think it's something that you can enjoy very much on your PlayStation 3, even a non-Japanese PlayStation 3 system. So I hope that you will check out this game.